Hi there, welcome to AMSA's E-symposia. I'm Nikki Zawodzki, and I'll be sort of facilitating today, I guess you could say. I want to just start by introducing myself a little bit and telling you who I am. So I work at Vancouver Coastal Health Prism Services, and for myself, I identify as queer, cisgender. I'm a child of Holocaust refugees. I'm married to a trans man. I've worked in community health now for 21 years. My people are Polish and French, and we started a local group here, the local LGBTQ Service Provider Support Network, and I'll talk about that shortly. And mostly I'm interested in LGBTQ newcomer research, and I'm currently pursuing that in graduate school at SFU. I want to introduce the whole thing today. So the title of our symposium is LGBTQ Newcomers, Strengthening Support and Understanding. The AMSA E-symposium series is designed to engage BC settlement provider organizations, SPOs, in learning and discussions related to professional development and service delivery. The E-symposia format allows service providers from across the province of British Columbia and the Western region to conveniently participate in the event, either in person or online. And I see here in the audience we've got a few folks, and I hear we've got a lot of folks online. So hi there, and welcome to all the folks watching along in TV land. I want to also acknowledge today that we're here on the unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, and that is the territory of the Musqueam, the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, and the Stolo peoples. I also want to sort of highlight some of the linkages between migration, which we're going to be talking about this morning, and the colonization across the globe, and how this impacts for LGBTQ newcomers and the relationship and linkages between Indigenous people here in North America too. Most countries with laws criminalizing LGBTQ identities have a colonial legacy. North America, Canada is included. The intention of colonization was to seed white people and destroy Indigenous cultures, including language, traditions, and ceremony. Settler colonialism serves to displace Indigenous people and eradicate their ways of life. When we look at LGBTQ newcomers in isolation across the globe, we'll see, we'll see many similarities, and we're going to get into that shortly. There's also differing concepts of LGBTQ identities across the globe. We touched on that just a little bit in the video in terms of terminology, but what we here understand as LGBTQ and the terms that we use here in our Western culture doesn't necessarily translate to different LGBTQ identities in many places in the world, and we're going to talk about that as well. There's some unique barriers and challenges for LGBTQ newcomers. That includes housing, healthcare, mental health supports, employment, access to trauma-related counseling and supports, and again, we're going to outline that shortly. But most importantly, today's E-symposium will look at providing training and information to settlement agencies and staff on working with and supporting LGBTQ newcomer clients. The panelists are going to present on key concepts for understanding LGBTQ identities, inclusive language and terminology, the importance and need for LGBTQ inclusive programming, insight on client experiences and challenges that LGBTQ newcomer clients will encounter, resources for settlement agencies and settlement workers, resources and services where you can refer your clients. In attendance at the event today, we have various service provider organization representatives in person here at Harbour Centre in Vancouver, and as I mentioned, many folks across the Western region online. I'm going to provide you with a brief overview of the E-symposium today. Flip of my notes here. We're pleased to offer you 4 presentations on strengthening support and understanding for LGBTQ newcomers. After all 4 presentations, we will have time for a Q&A session with the speakers. Not only will those of you in the room today be able to ask questions of our presenters and panelists, but also those of you who are viewing online can ask your questions in real time by emailing events@amsa.org or by Twitter using hashtag AMSAEvents. Let me see. There we go. We would like to thank the advisory committee who graciously gave their time, energy, wisdom, and encouragement in the development of this E-symposium and of the lovely video you saw. Your knowledge, experience, and generosity are what made this possible. Many members of the advisory committee are here with us today as well. And I'm just going to go through some of the folks that participated. We had folks from Mosaic, PRISM Services at Vancouver Coastal Health, Community, Rainbow Refugee Committee, Salam, Settlement Orientation Services, and Dr. Sherilyn Jordan, who's not here with us today, but she's here in spirit. It's also important that we want to acknowledge that AMSA is contracted by Citizenship and Immigration Canada to provide support to BC's immigrant-serving sector. AMSA gratefully acknowledges the financial support provided by the Government of Canada to deliver today's event. Just a quick few housekeeping things for the audience. Please turn off your mobile devices or set them to vibrate if you haven't done so already. And if you do need to take a phone call, we invite you to quietly leave the room. All right, so our first presenter is going to come up now, and that's going to be Aisha Ismail Kanani. And Aisha is from Community. Come on up, Aisha.